Oh, fuck. Why do you think I destroy Atlantis twice? I'm trying to get that bastard. Yeah, can't show your tits on the interweb, Gaia. Oi! Stop this! And so Dormin got sentenced to death for being a Kingdom Hearts fan. Well, necessity makes the plumber at the end of the day. Malus is the most bold of the Colossus. Wait, that's not it. That's not a snake, that's straight up a Leviathan. Oh, that's because all the attributes are right here on my evil pot of evil and darkness. Therefore qualifying it to be a Mishima. Help! I'm not lost. Could you please pick up this other one walk on the shelf for me? Sup everybody, how you doing? So I'm lost, an old man just gave me a sword, I used the bomb on the wall and found a cave, and this bush over here has a dungeon under it. This can only mean one thing. I'm stuck on Zelda 1 again, god damn it! This isn't as bad as the time we were lost in Zebes. Gaia, you're lucky I'm not there. But still, fucking bad situation, eh? To understand how we got here, we need to go back to the time when things first started to matter. The 80s! So Nintendo exists. I know, right? Fucking waste of a company. I believe this is common knowledge on the video game part of the interwebs. But if you're not on the video game part of the interwebs, hi, hello! Nice to have you here. Here, have a seat. We can be kinda weird sometimes. Some people complain about the color of a hedgehog's arm. But we are nice people. Some of us are nice people. There's the racist, the homophobic, the toxic stuff, Metroid Fusion fans. Like 40-60% nice people. The idea of Zelda came from Man of the Hour Shigeru Miyamoto. The guy identified that makes the things I like, the things I complain about, and Pikmin. He claims that the idea of Zelda came from wanting to flesh out a world to the player. A contrast to Mario that was a level-based linear game. Because yes, these two are basically siblings. Which make the Super Metroid joke about Metroid being love child of Mario and Zelda not really great right now, so they are childhood friends. So with that in mind, he set out to make a non-linear exploration game, taking inspiration from his time as a boy, when he would explore fields, forests, and caves. How many caves did he explore? And that is the short version of the story. Zelda is one of those magical games that has 30 plus years of story behind it. And I'm not gonna talk about it because I'm just a bird. There's a lot of cool stuff you can learn about Zelda. For example, they did not originally were supposed to start off the sword, but Miyamoto really felt like saying go fuck yourself. Because of that we got the old man in a cave. The idea behind this was because Miyamoto wanted the game to have communication, both between the game and the player, but also between player and player. Honestly, this is a lovely idea. I could keep going about the development of Zelda, but I have a guy to feed and a cat to find. Let's go to the main act, shall we? It's time to get lost together! The Legend of Zelda. Hey Gaia, I really said you're not here to talk about this one with me. As we know, you play as the legendary twink himself, Link. I tried to make the joke about haha this is Zelda, but I could not come up with anything that was actually funny. But interesting things about Link's name. As far as I know, there's two reasons for this name. One of them is because one of the first ideas for the game was to have time travel, so Link would be the link between the present and the future. The other reason is because Link is a link between the player and the game. Link is nothing more, nothing less than an avatar for the player. He's not exactly a character, you know? I love this idea because... Can you please shake the mouse a little bit? I just wanna look at the time. 4 minutes... Yep! Time to bitch! You can be as mad as you want, Gaia. You're not here with me today. You cannot punch me over the phone. Words cannot hurt me, Gaia. You know this. My ego is gigantic. Hell, I'll even say it. It is the greatest ego a human has ever seen. Every time I see someone say, "Oh man, I hope the new Zelda dives more into plot. Oh man, I hope Link has a voice and talks and is a character," I can't help but think to myself, wow, I was dropped on the head as a baby and I'm not even that fucking stupid. Saying you want Link to be a character is kinda like saying, man, why do the characters from Street Fighter got to fight on streets? Why can't they just bake cookies on a house? I fucking wonder why, Katie. If your name is Katie and you're listening to this, I'm very sorry. I did not mean to offend you. I just needed a name. I like to believe I am a calm and rational person, okay? Shut up, Gaia! Sorry for screaming, Gaia. I did not mean that. Sorry, but I'm sorry. But I have my limits, okay? I'm completely open to listen to other people's opinion, yada yada yada, you know the deal. But this is like, you come to my house and go, man, we should start killing cats. I think cats are better off dead. I personally think we should start killing cats. That cat is the best for cats. No, I will not stand by that, okay? As a living being, I need to look at the mirror and ask myself, what is my limit? And that's my fucking limit. I will never kill cats, and I won't advocate for plot on Zelda games. Zelda works best when it's working on a little something I like to call... I don't actually have a name for this. I was thinking about calling it the Bayonetta narrative, but for it to be a true Bayonetta narrative, it needs to be horny. So let's call this the Bayonetta narrative, open parenthesis, temporary name, close parenthesis. Yue, what is the Bayonetta narrative? Well, have you ever played Bayonetta? Bayonetta has plot, it truly has. Nobody gave a shit about it. Everybody plays Bayonetta because it's a great hack and slash. And if you are like Gaia, because Bayonetta is your type. On top of being a great action game, it also has great moments. We are not trying to deny the great moments of Bayonetta, but if you are telling me you are playing Bayonetta because you wanna see the story, I'm gonna ask you to hold this side real quick. I'm not trying to deny the good plot moments of Bayonetta, I'm just trying to say that this is not a story-driven game. We have story here to have cool moments, and because action with no plot is just that fantasy. Although that fantasy is very nice. Zelda is similar. Nobody goes into Zelda thinking, oh man, I wanna see this great story, which is kinda why I'm worried about the Zelda movie. Much like Bayonetta, I'm not trying to deny the good story moments of Zelda, but they are not frequent, and Zelda is still not a narrative-driven game. This is an exploration game. Why are you Link? Why are you in this world? Why are you adventuring? All of those are just a background to make you go adventure. Because surprise surprise, Zelda's a game about adventuring. Actually, do you wanna know a little fun fact about Zelda and how it truly is not a narrative-driven game? I was about to put the mic away, but then I remember, oh wait, I can talk about this. Do you know why the world in Wind Waker is full of water? Oh, because the gods made it rain to kill... No. The real reason the Great Ocean in Wind Waker exists is because the devs thought, okay, we wanna make a game on the ocean. And so the whole plot and the whole world had to change to fit that. Zelda's gameplay and exploration comes first, and only then they come up with the plot. But before I go deeper into that, let's talk about said background, okay? Here is the intro text for Zelda 1, narrated by yours truly. Many years ago, Prince Darkness Ganon stole one of the Triforce with power. Princess Zelda had one of the Triforce with wisdom. She divided it into 8 units to hide it from Ganon before she was captured. Go find the 8 units linked to save her. Come as a very cool thing to use, you know? The short version of this is Ganon is evil, Zelda is kidnapped, go save her. Pretty much. I think the clear thing to joke about is that we only have 2 Triforces. I mean, this is a triangle, so it technically fits the Triforce. Just to make sure you're on the same page here, let's actually recap the story. Ganon attacked the land of Hyrule, saying, "Give me the Triforce, you bitch!" Princess Zelda saw this and thought, shit, he wants the Triforce for no really explained reason, I needed to hide it. After she split the Triforce in 8 parts, she sent her most trusted woman, Impa, to find someone to save her. After being attacked by monsters, she was rescued by Link. She told the whole deal to him and said, "Well, save the princess, you bastard." I know I just did a gigantic rant about plot on Zelda games, but you can do a little bit more than this before I get angry. But something I like specifically about the first Zelda, Link is just a guy. He's just a dude that was walking around, found this lady and go, oh okay, I'll save the princess. I mean hell, it wasn't even Link that said that, it was you. Link is not the hero of the adventure. You are the hero. You are the one going around defeating monsters exploring dungeons, and save the princess at the end. Link is just a vessel. Link is nothing but an empty husk for you to control and explore the world. And I love this because you don't need to be anything special to save the world. All you really need is desire to save the world. I love the idea of what really makes a hero is just the desire to help someone. Later games did make Link a chosen one, but although I don't really love the idea of a chosen one, I still think Zelda handles this way better than a lot of places. Zelda's 2 for 2 right now. They made a good self-insert and a good chosen one. That's incredible. Really goes to prove that's not what you say it, it's how you say it. I don't know how to explain this any other way, but Link is not a passive chosen one. Link hardly ever departs because someone is telling Link, go save the world. Most of the time. It is generally because there is a problem and Link thinks, fuck it, I'ma solve it. It's not because Link is a chosen one that the problems got solved. It's because Link is himself. Therefore he solves the problem and therefore he is a chosen one. It's ironic because... Is it Faces of Evil? What is the Zelda CDI that goes, only Link can defeat Ganon? What was it? I mean anyway, that's just to prove my point that there's never anything like that. It's just Link going, alright, fuck it, I have to solve this. Zelda's in danger, alright, I'm gonna beat Ganon. My sister got kidnapped, I'll fucking invade the prison, eh? It's not because the plot's telling Link to solve something that he's gonna solve something. It's Link himself that wants to solve the problem. I could go on for a very long time talking about all of this, but I'm gonna save it for my inevitable Zelda story video that I'm gonna do at some point in the future. Fun fact, everything I just said was ad-lib, it wasn't on the script at all. And we are at 11 minutes, I haven't even talked about the actual game. I'm a great little bird, huh? Let's take a look at the actual game. Fuck! Let's start this at the beginning. The overworld. This shit is big for an NES game. This was Miyamoto's vision at the end of the day. A big open world where you can just fuck around and find out. But it always surprises me. Wow, he really nailed this. This map is big, full of stuff, big, filled with secrets, big, kinda bullshit at times, big. Let's get stupidity out of the way first, okay? This map can be confusing. Sometimes it's even way too confusing. Really go back to the mentality of, oh, talk to a friend to find out what to do. This is the biggest complaint the whole world seems to have about this game nowadays. No indication whatsoever on what to do. On top of that you have the translation errors. I don't think this counts as translation errors, it's probably translation fumbles. Then user guide. Honey, this game is over 30, you lose all your integrity after you turn 30. Katie, honey, listen to me, okay? You started to sound like Gary. Do you want to be like Gary? I know, nobody wants to be like Gary. Zelda 1 is from a different time. Much like a racist grandpa. The difference between Zelda and your grandpa is that Zelda is still acceptable. Not that much acceptable, but more acceptable. I have lovingly called this the Contra effect. You can call this whatever you want, I call it the Contra effect. The Contra effect is when you take a game that is 30 minutes long, make it the most frustrating shit you have ever seen in your life just so you can stretch this game for hours. Zelda does this not by making the game hard, asterisk, but by not giving you really any direction. Like this you can stretch the game's length so it lasts longer. This is one of those of its time mentality that don't really fly today. So just use a guide. I tried playing this game without a guide. I uttered the phrase, oh, I'm wrong place as fuck. Honestly, that was my magnum opus. Forget publishing champion, can't surpass this. Part of me wanted to play this game without a guide because it sounds fun, I'm not gonna lie. It sounds really fun to me. But I needed to make this video, I need to find my cat, I need to walk my shark, and I need to feed Gaia. I can't go around playing Zelda blindly at this time of the day. And using a guide was very fun. Even before you step your little feet on the first dungeon, you can find so much around this game. It felt like treasure hunting. Like I had a map, and the map said go here and do this, and then go there and find something, and it would be, oh shit, I found something! Since I talked about this, let's talk about the good things about this game. See? This is the realization of Miyamoto's idea. A big non-linear adventure. And he did it! On the NES, but he did it! By all intents and purposes, this is an open world NES game. It has aged, of course, don't take me wrong. But if you are like me and you get hard over this, then you can have a good time over here, no problem. It is crazy they managed to realize this on the first game. I praise Metroid because Metroid managed to be Metroid by the third game, and Zelda somehow managed to do this on the first game. Right out of the gate, the game managed to nail itself, a non-linear open-world adventure. That lovely Miyamoto, he did it! You bitch! Keep in mind, you can go basically anywhere on the map as soon as you start the game. And this is on the NES. This is insane! You wouldn't see this level of freedom in any Zelda game until Breath of the Wild. Link to the Past maybe, but you still couldn't really go actually anywhere without the certain items. And there's the whole second world, so you're really gonna go anywhere you wanted as soon as you started. Ocarina of Time you can't even progress without pressing A at the right person. Gaia, honey, I will go there as many times as I want to go there. I really like the overworld here, and I really like to find the things on the overworld. You can find a whole new sword before you go in the first dungeon on this game. And you know me, I'm always up for a new sword. You really need to sort that out at some point. You'd think I'm bringing 2 new swords instead of a knife. You can find a whole new tunic before going to the first dungeon. I mean, on this game it's technically a ring, but it changes the color of the tunic, so it is just the tunic. You might look and say, yeah, how the fuck was I supposed to know that that was there? Because you're supposed to have a mentality of, I wonder what's under this rock. Statue, you got me. If you don't wanna spend 17 hours playing this game, use a guide. And if you're scared people are gonna judge you over using a guide about this game, don't worry. The Zelda Council will not care about it, because I'm pretty sure the Zelda Council never played this game as well. Another cool little trick about this game, if you don't kill all the enemies on the screen, they don't respawn. This is important because you're gonna be traveling around the place a lot, so it's helpful to have just one single enemy you can ignore. Man, the overworld of this game is so lovely. Well, time to end the video. Bye everybody, this ends the video. This is all I have to say about Zelda 1. Bye, get out of here now. So the dungeons, right? Yep, dungeons, the thing Zelda's most famous for. The dungeons. Okay, fine. I will shut up about this now, because I already have a rant on this episode. I don't want this episode to be 2 rants in one video. So I should just get my thoughts out of the way real quick. Ooh, I'm getting heated. I'm gonna stop recording, because we're getting heated. There is a misconception among Zelda fans that Zelda is a game about dungeons. Zelda isn't, wasn't, and will never be a game about dungeons. Zelda is a game about fighting stuff. It just so happens that going forward, a lot of the stuff you found was in dungeons. But if you're gonna be technical, you can completely make a Zelda game without having a single dungeon on it. I am a writer at the end of the day. I have to foreshadow things, you know? I'm gonna save my in-depth thoughts about Zelda dungeons for when I think the time is right. It's been that yes, the time is not right now. Dungeons here are kinda shit. Well, they aren't kinda shit. They are shit. They are very bad, okay? For every praise I can give to the open world, I can throw a rock at the dungeons. Although it is very funny to me that we have the current discourse on Zelda games about dungeons and open world, and people going, oh, but you need dungeons to make a Zelda game. And the first Zelda had really bad dungeons. The dungeons here are 8-bit. I shouldn't have high expectations, right? They did manage to make the open world on 8 bits, but apparently the dungeons were too much. The dungeons on the game range from unamusing to fuck you. We have the eagle, the moon. Pretty sure I can show that one. That's not a fucking snake, not a lizard, somewhat of a dragon, doesn't look like a demon at all, the lion, and Death Mountain. Yes, Death Mountain, that place that appears in almost every Zelda game, is still here and working as Ganon's lair. And since I brought up the topic, I'll use this opportunity to talk about something else. Yes, thank you. I'm very smart and handsome. It's interesting how many Zelda staples are in this game. We have Zelda, Link and Ganon, of course, but we also have the boomerang, the bow, the magic rod, the power bracelet, the ability to change your clothes to enhance your defense, and if you're gonna add locations as well, we also have the Lost Woods working the same way as it does in every Zelda game. That is impressive. It's so interesting how much of Zelda was born in Zelda. Going back to the dungeons. No! Not back to the dungeons! No! They ain't great. The first few are okay, but they don't really have anything special about it. Not even in puzzles. Puzzles are one of those things that is commonly associated with Zelda. And I'll agree, Zelda is a franchise that makes you stop and think about how to progress, therefore kinda qualifying it as a puzzle. And this game kinda blows that. There's not really anything puzzling about this. It's either just push the right block, kill everyone, or bump the wall. Another thing that kinda sucks about it are the items. You know me, Metroid fan. I like to find things that help me progress or kill people. And the game kinda blows at this as well. Most of the items you get here are long range options. Your sword does have a long range beam. Why? I don't know, maybe Link already has the Master Sword. And just like the Master Sword, this only works when you are at full health. Having extra items that can kinda cover ground while not at full health is very useful. The problem is that they are everything. And the second problem, you don't really use this to progress. Out of the top of my head, what do you use to progress? You get a boat, you get the ladder, it is there. This kinda sucks. There's no getting around it. If you're like me and what makes Zelda bearable for you is the items, you're not gonna have a great time here. And to add on that, not every single item works on everyone. The item game is kinda weak here, but do you know what's not weak? The bloody balance of the game. Yes, second half of the game just decided, you know what, let's turn this shit up to 11 out of a possible 5. Honey, trapping me in a room full of wizard ropes is not difficulty, it's bullshit. And don't even get me started on the goddamn dark nuts. Those are just straight up Someone might defend, oh, but this is the part of the charm of the game, it's very hard, and honey, this isn't hard. This is just stupid. There is no strategy around this part, you just have to suck it up and do something. Some games have a hard part that can be made easier if you have knowledge. Take Mega Man for example, okay? Armored Armadillo. What the fuck's this name? Armored Armadillo is a fucking hard boss until you figure out the weakness. And then it becomes easy. So you can bash your head against it and it's gonna be hard, or you can find the solution and it's gonna be easy. I feel like Zelda wanted to do this, it just didn't. It felt like the game was telling me, no, you're doing this wrong, don't just charge up straight ahead. Think a little bit about it. Mate, there's nothing to think about it. This is just a room. A square room with 8 bloody dark nuts. Yes, I can use the bombs. But that's like, oh man, I lost an arm. I better put a band-aid on it. And now we are going to rapid fire topics that I didn't write anything on the script, but I later on thought I should talk about this nonetheless. I did miss the NPCs. I know I said that Zelda isn't a game about story, it's a game about fighting shit. But sometimes the shit you found is people. This is something I think later Zeldas would implement, and I do think it's for the better. All you can find in this game is weird people on caves that scream cryptic hints at you. You know what? We should bring that back for the next Zelda. Music! I am not a music guy, okay? Don't ask me anything about music. I don't get anything about music. I just listen to music and I think, haha, now sound. But I don't, absolutely, under any circumstances, know anything about music. Which is why I hardly talk about music on any video here. I'm gonna talk about music in Zelda. I like Zelda songs, and Zelda 1 has some iconic songs, like songs that appear on almost every game. And that's nice, I like it. Do you see this beautiful bird? He's not a fantasy guy. That isn't the right way of putting it, but I'm very picky when it comes to fantasy. If you remind me too much of Dungeons and Dragons, well, there's a cliff. Do your best Mishima impression. But this isn't to say I don't like fantasy in general. Fire Emblem is my favorite franchise, fantasy. One of the few things I tolerate about Genshin Impact is the setting. And Zelda is on that camp of fantasy that I feel is unique enough to make me care about it. Zelda is a fantasy game and you can see a lot of fantasy tropes around. But I feel like they take the tropes and make it unique enough. Which is why I fucking tolerate the franchise. And shout out to the last dungeon of the game. It still sucks. But look at the size of this thing. Do you see now why I tell you to use the bloody guide? Oh, I can imagine the 80s kid that spent 2 months lost on Death Mountain. And he didn't even pick the silver arrows. It's funny how they make the Master Sword later and make all of this big deal about, oh, the Master Sword, the Sword of Evil's Bane, yada yada yada. Link, you must get the Master Sword, please get the Master Sword, it's the only way to defeat Ganon. And this game is like, arrows, and they don't even tell you anything about it. But it's curious how Link to the Past, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Breath of the Wild, all of them use arrows to finish off Ganon. Zelda traditions coming all the way back from the first game. And now I'm really thinking about, they really oversaw the Master Sword. I mean, not over Zelda, but they make a big deal about that thing, don't they? I could complain that you can miss the silver arrows, and if you do, you cannot kill Ganon, you're stuck on an unwinnable fight, but everybody knows about the silver arrows. And if you don't know about the silver arrows, congratulations, you do now. Ganon! You disgusting creature, making me wander around this desolate wasteland. But alas, the law of fragrance proved itself once again, for I have come to defeat you. For my blade shall cut out the darkness, for my wings shall shine across all the lands and bring life back. And to you, self-proclaimed Prince of Darkness, I'll show to you that when it comes to fighting, I'll be bettered by none. Let's dance! I'll be honest, I was shitless scared about the recording corrupting and I losing this fight. Also, this fight is stupid, okay? And with that, you save Zelda. And this ends the story. I don't know what the line it just always kills me. My life's exhausted. So let's take a look at a couple of facts, okay? This video is almost half an hour long. I made a whole rant about my philosophies about Zelda. I talked about my philosophies related to Zelda in general. I made a lot of reference to future Zelda games. So, it's fair for you to look at me and think, oh man, he must be a Zelda fan, right? I am not. Zelda is neither on my top 4 franchises, on my top 8 franchises, it might be on the top 20 franchises, but that's just because I don't think I know 20 franchises. So I'm not a Zelda fan. I might have played almost every single mainline Zelda out there, but I'm not a Zelda fan. And that's something I'm gonna be saying until my grave. My technically non-existing grave, because you know, Phoenix. But this isn't closing thoughts about Zelda, this is closing thoughts about Zelda. Wait, and my closing thoughts are... I don't know. The whole adventure aspect of the game I really fell in love with. It is an aspect I wasn't expecting to like as much, but I really like it. Even if the guide, even going on this little treasure hunt was very fun. The dungeons was not good. There were good parts, there were bad parts. My honest opinion is, if you really love Zelda, or if you really love legacy video games, give this game a shot. There's a shitload of guides online for this game. Just try it. It was an interesting game. Flawed, rusted, old, but interesting. It is one of those games I don't really recommend for being a game, more so for being an experience. Or if you are like me, who bought this game on the 3DS, had it sitting on the backlog for God knows how long, and said fuck it, I'm not gonna finish this thing. I thought it was obvious. And another little heads up, I will be talking about every single Zelda game. Every single mainline Zelda game. So Link's Awakening, the Oracle games, the Minish Cap, the Force Word games, Phantom Hourglass, fuck that game, Spirit Tracks, give that one a shot. And even a Link Between Worlds, my sweet beloved Link Between Worlds. I won't be talking about them anytime soon. Well, I won't be talking about the other Zeldas anytime soon because God knows how long it takes to make this video. But I do have plans to talk about every single main Zelda game. At least the Zelda games that I feel like it was supposed to be the next step on the franchise. And you guys can just wait until the day that I talk about Ocarina of Time. I will be definitely talking about Ocarina of Time. The fact that I'm still forgetting about this game 2 years after I beat it really makes you understand how much of an impact this game can leave. Sure. Can I sour your mood? You didn't come with me for this one, so you will be coming with me for Zelda 2.